So let's start with our next section, that is section 108. Okay, section 108 I think you will not find in my notes, so just prefer the book. Okay, uh, just listen to this class and it will be enough for your examination. Okay, section 108 talks about e-voting. What? Section 108 talks about e-voting, that is electronic voting. Okay, voting can be two ways. It can be physical. It can be physical, like just going to a designated place and cast your vote, or it can be a remote e-voting, or it can be what? Or it can be remote e-voting. So what is remote e-voting? Remote e-voting is casting a vote away from, means from far away, casting the vote from far away. Whether you are sitting at your home and voting, that will be considered as remote e-voting. And physical is what? There will be a designated place where you have to attend and you have to go there and vote. Okay, so what is this e-voting facility? To which companies this e-voting facility is applicable? First we have to know this. So first, this e-voting facility will be applicable to listed companies, all the listed companies. Now what is a listed company? I think you all know what is a listed company. Listed company means those companies whose shares are traded in the stock exchange. Means shares are purchased and sold. A company whose shares are traded in the markets, traded in the stock exchange, that company is known as a listed company. So this e-voting facility will be applicable to listed company, and also this e-voting facility will be applicable to any company. To what? Any company having minimum 1,000 shareholders. So remember this. So applicability of e-voting is on which companies? Listed companies, and any company having minimum 1,000 shareholders, minimum. So private company have maximum how many members? 200 members. We all know that private company have maximum how many members? 200 members. So for a private company, e-voting is not applicable, because any company must have minimum 1,000 shareholders to have this e-voting facility. So private company is exempted, is not allowed provided e-voting facility. And also OPC, one person company. One person company, I have told you earlier, there is only one member and there is another member who will sign or who will be present if this member becomes lunatic, die, whatever. Okay, so one person company, OPC. So it's not applicable on OPC private company, but it's applicable on listed company and any company having minimum 1,000 shareholders. Is it correct? Okay, so rule 20 lays down the procedure of e-voting. Which rule? Rule number 20 lays down the procedure of e-voting. So what is the procedure of e-voting? So when we are sending the notice, when we send the notice at least 21 clear days before, it will contain a statement. That notice will contain a statement which will contain the details of e-voting. If the company have to follow the procedure of e-voting as per the provisions of company law, then such company along with the notice will also submit a statement. We have already studied about notice. আমরা নোটিসের ব্যাপার পড়েছিলাম, নোটিস কতদিন আগে দিতে হয়? অ্যাটলিস্ট 21 ক্লিয়ার ডেজ বিফোর দ্য মিটিং। তো যখন এই নোটিসটা দেওয়া হবে, এই নোটিসের সঙ্গে একটা স্টেটমেন্টও অ্যাটাচ করবে যেখানে ই ভোটিংয়ের ডিটেলস দেওয়া থাকবে। সো কী কী স্টেটমেন্টে থাকবে? ফার্স্ট থাকবে, ইট উইল বি মেনশন দ্যাট ই ভোটিং ইজ প্রোভাইডেড। নেক্সট ইট উইল কন্টেন দ্য লগ ইন আইডি। নেক্সট ইট উইল কন্টেন দ্য স্টেপস টু জেনারেট পাসওয়ার্ড। Next, it will contain the manner of e-voting. The manner of e-voting means there will be a link. A link will be provided, and this link will direct you to the page where the voting will take place. So what will be the informations provided in the statement that e-voting is being taken place? There will be a login ID, and there will be steps to generate the password, and this will also provide the manner of e-voting. It will give a link that will redirect to the page where voting will take place. Okay. It will also mention the date and time when the e-voting will start and when the e-voting will end. It will also contain the date and time when the e-voting is starting and when it will end. Now there is a condition. The condition is what? That the e-voting must end on 5 p.m. immediately preceding the date of the general meeting. The e-voting must end on 5 p.m. immediately preceding the date of the general meeting. So if suppose the general meeting's date is 20th, okay, the meeting is to be held on 20th, the physical meeting is to be held on 20th, then e-voting, when the e-voting must end? The e-voting must end by 5 p.m. of 19th preceding day, by 5 p.m. on the 19th. Is it clear? মানে কি 20 তারিখে যদি আমার মিটিংয়ের ডেট হয় তাহলে ই ভোটিং কতক্ষণ অবধি অ্যালাউড হবে? আগের দিনের 5টা অবধি। আগের দিন মানে 19th-এর 5টা অবধি তুমি ই ভোট করতে পারবে, বিকেল 5টা অবধি তুমি ই ভোট করতে পারবে। Is it clear? So what the notice, the statement will contain the login ID, the steps to generate the password, the manner, that is the link that will redirect the member to the page where the e-voting will be done, and also it will contain the date and time when the e-voting will start, the date and time when the e-voting will end. Okay, and what it will also contain, okay, e-voting will end. So e-voting, actually what is the when the e-voting must end? What the company law have said us, that the e-voting must end the day preceding the day of the general meeting. That is, if 20th is the meeting, then the e-voting must end by 5 p.m. on 19th. Correct? Okay. Next is what? If the member is voting by means of remote e-voting, means they are sitting wherever they are sitting, they are voting from there. They are sitting from home, they are sitting wherever they are present, they are sitting from that, they are voting from that place. So if the members are voting by means of e-voting, then such member is not allowed to vote in the general meeting. Once you have already voted by means of e-voting, you can attend the general meeting physically, but you will not be allowed to vote in this meeting. Physically you cannot again vote, because one vote is enough. We cannot allow you to vote 2 times, right? So once the member have already voted by means of e-voting, then the member cannot vote in the general meeting. Okay, so this is the meeting, this is the details and everything. Okay, now that the chairman of the meeting will have no right to count the vote. So who will count the vote? The scrutinizer. So one scrutinizer will be appointed. This scrutinizer will be appointed by BOD. Chairman has no right to count the vote. Scrutinizer will count the vote. Now BOD will appoint that scrutinizer. BOD, and this scrutinizer can be a CA, can be a CS, can be a CMA, can be an advocate, or any other person who is highly reputed and qualified. Okay, chairman is not allowed to count the vote, but scrutinizer will be appointed by BOD, and scrutinizer can be anyone. It can be a CA, CS, CMA, or advocate, or any other person of highly reputed person, highly qualified and highly reputed person, who will count the vote. So the scrutinizer will first count the vote that has been casted physically at the general meeting. The scrutinizer will first count the vote that has been casted at the general meeting. Okay, in front of 2 witnesses. There must be 2 witnesses as well, because it's a matter of voting. Okay, it is a matter of voting, that's why it is so important. So the scrutinizer will count the vote of the general meeting first in front of 2 witnesses, and then it will unlock the e-voting. And the scrutinizer will maintain the register and everything details, and will send this register to the chairman. Okay, along with the total number of votes, the persons who have casted their vote by means of e-voting, those who have casted physical voting, everything the scrutinizer will maintain. Now e-voting facility is allowed for at least how many days? For at least 3 days. E-voting facility is allowed for at least 3 days. It should continue for 3 days, run for 3 days. Suppose 28th December is my date of general meeting, then my e-voting can run from 1 to 19th December, 5 p.m. of 19th December. Now student will ask, ma'am, you just now told 3 days. I told at least 3 days. ফর মিনিমাম 3 days। আমি কি বললাম, মিনিমাম 3 দিনের জন্য আমাকে ই ভোটিং রান করতেই হবে। তার মানে এই নয় যে আমি ম্যাক্সিমাম দিন কাউন্ট করবো না। মিনিমাম 3 days মানে ম্যাক্সিমাম ইট কুড বি 100 days, ম্যাক্সিমাম ইট কুড বি এনি নাম্বার অফ ডেজ, but minimum for 3 days e-voting must run, minimum 3 days, not 2 day, not 1 day, minimum 3 days. From 3 days it will start. It can be then you can run this e-voting for 10 days, 20 days, whatever, but the e-voting must end preceding the day of the general meeting by 5 p.m. Now suppose if I am asking 20th December is the general meeting and I have run the e-voting from 1 to 15th December. So is it possible? Is this case possible? 20th December is the meeting. I have run e-voting from 1 to 15th December. Is it possible? See, I have fulfilled that at least 3 days. Yes, I am running for rather 16 days. So is it possible? No, it's not. It's not. Why? Because the e-voting must end necessarily on 19th. That is just the day before the general meeting. Is it clear? So this is the concept of e-voting. What is this? Nothing. E-voting means we can remote e-vote. We can sit at any place and we can vote. So what the company, on which company they are applicable, listed, and company, any company having minimum 1000 shareholders. Okay. On private company and OPC it's not applicable. Why not applicable on private company? Because private company's maximum member is only 200. How it can be applicable? Okay. So along with the notice we will send a statement which will contain the login ID, the steps to generate password, and the page link of the page where the voting will start. It will also contain the date and time of starting the e-voting and end of e-voting, everything. Okay. So now what will it now is, it is the work of the person who have voted by means of e-voting cannot vote at the general meeting again, but they can attend the meeting. Okay. Now the chairman cannot count any vote. Scrutinizers will be appointed. Now the scrutinizer will be appointed by whom? By the board of the directors, and the scrutinizer can be a CS, same advocate, or any other person of high qualified, okay, highly reputed person. Now this person, this scrutinizer will count the vote in the presence of, in front of two witness, okay, and once first the scrutinizer will count the physically casted vote, and then the scrutinizer will unlock the e-voting, and all the details will be maintained by the scrutinizer in a register to be submitted to whom? To the chairman. Okay, with all the details, and after that the chairman will declare what is the result, whether it's, what will be the decision, whether the decision is passed or not, whatever it is, whatever matter they were voting, it will be, then the result will be declared. Is it clear? So this was e-voting. Okay, thank you class. In the next day we will again continue.